Hey everyone, Tom Caffarella here from Cameron Real Estate Group. Today I'm going to be talking about how my investment leads, how my motivated seller investment leads turn into your listings, right? So as a real estate investor, I fix and flip over 100 properties in the greater Boston, New Hampshire, and Rhode Island area. And the problem for me about 3 or 4 years ago is that all of the distressed inventory, all of the short sales, all of the foreclosures, all of the distress, all of the beat up properties that I was buying completely vanished into thin air. So I had a problem on my hands, right? There was just no more properties left for me to purchase. So I needed to come up with a solution to buy properties in order for me to fix and flip. And so what we ended up deciding to do was we ended up deciding to prospect directly to sellers with a cash offer, with a offer in order to buy their property direct from somebody like myself as an investor. And we had great success with that. But the problem was for me is that for most sellers, it doesn't make sense to sell to an investor, right? Because typically speaking, my offer has to be a little bit lower than what they would get if they were to list their house. Their property tends to need to be in fairly bad shape. And I don't know that when I'm mailing or cold calling or putting up ads on Facebook or putting up ads on Google. I don't know what the inside of their house looks like, right? So the problem for me was that I was generating all of these motivated seller leads, but I wasn't able to buy most of them, right? So only 10% of the sellers who let us come into their property actually let me buy their house. The rest of them all end up wanting retail pricing. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with that. When we go out face to face and meet with sellers, we're looking to do what's in the best interest of the seller. And in most cases, in 90% of the cases, it doesn't make sense to sell to an investor. So those motivated seller leads with people that did not want to sell to an investor for a while, I did nothing with them. They just sat there, and if the seller did not want to take my investor offer, we would just walk away, shake hands, and say, look, we can't pay retail prices. But what ended up happening was after I hired my first agent, he kept coming back to me and back to me and back to me and said, why don't we try to list some of these properties? And it was kind of an afterthought at that point, and I said, hey, you want to go try to list the properties? Fine, because I make most of my money on the investment side. I wasn't really that interested in building a real estate brokerage. Fast forward 3 years, I've got 150 agents on my real estate team, and we generate over 1,000 seller leads every single month, right? So those seller leads end up being the leads that get fed to my real estate agents on my team at Cameron Real Estate Group. And they go out, they meet face to face with these sellers. They determine what makes the most sense for that seller. Does it make sense for you to list? Does it make sense for you to take a cash offer from an investor? And in 90% of the cases, these motivated seller investment leads end up turning into listings. So if you're a real estate agent that's struggling to get face-to-face with sellers, we have got more seller leads than we know what to do with. To find out more about joining our team, go to www.workingwithinvestors.com, put in your name, put in your email, and we're going to send you a video on what it looks like to work for my team, what the qualifications are, whether or not it would make sense for you to come and interview with us. So go to www.workingwithinvestors.com, put in your name, put in your email, and you'll learn more about joining our team. And then you'll have the opportunity, if it interests you, to schedule a face-to-face meeting with me to talk more directly about working directly for us. So thank you for watching.